Pony. Pony. Hi there, Adam here. Now, most of you guys know that when we talk about a Nexus device, we're talking about a device that you can do just about anything you like with, from working with the kernel to the ROM to apps, anything at all. Now, I'd like to thank Carlo for sending this device in. Now, if you don't know Carlo is a guy who really hates iOS and really loves ponies. This dude is a brony, let me tell you. So, I'd like to thank Carlo for sending this device in, and it's my privilege to share with you the Nexus 7. So let's get started. Alright, so I've already recorded. So now I'm going to have to do this all over again. So let's see what's inside the box. Here we have the Nexus 7. Inside, we have Nexus 7 startup guide, something in Spanish, and warranty and safety guide. And we've got our standard micro USB cable, as well as a 5.2 volt, 1.35 amp hour chargers. So I've got these three cases here for the Nexus 7, and these various cases are made by Cruiser Light. For those who want a little bit more color to their Nexus 7, cases like these are available. And for those who really like XDA developers, this case is available. Now, this case does not provide a lot of protection. In fact, it doesn't even extend over the lip, but I suppose it could possibly prevent your device from getting scratched up very easily. By far, my favorite case from Cruiser Light is this one, and that one is available through the Cruiser Light store. What I like about this is it's basically the same material as most of these TPU cases are, but this one has these ridges here, so when you're holding your device like this, you can actually have a better grip on it without having to worry about it maybe sliding out of your hand or something if you're typing with just one hand. That little grip there along the side really kind of helps that a lot. Here we have the volume rockers, the power back headphone, micro USB, and stereo speaker. Let's turn it. Alright, and here we're presented with the user interface after signing in. Now I'm going to go on through and figure out what version of Android we got. We have Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. And it looks like it comes with a pretty standard array of Google apps. So I'll leave the reviewing of the operating system up to the other guys. What I'm going to do now is turn this thing right back off. And we can use a case opener tool to separate the front from the back. We can use a guitar pick to separate the front from the back. Now that we've got our guitar pick in there, we should be able to use a case opener tool fairly simply. And I'm just using an array of case opener tools for this device. So we can set aside the back cover for now. And let's disconnect this battery. Now we can remove this tape securing this display connector to the board. And we can remove this other connector as well. And now we can remove these 4 screws securing the battery to the device. And now we'll want to pry this battery tray out of the unit. Alright, and here we have a 3.8 volt, 3,950 milliamp hour battery. Alright, now let's go ahead and remove 6 screws and 2 with covers on them. Alright, now I noticed this at first, that this tape was a little bit messed up right here, and this wasn't my doing. You can actually rewind the video and see it. That was someone at the factory who just like scratched at the tape to try to get it off, really sloppy. But now this is something else I'm noticing here. You can see that this security seal has already been punctured by a screwdriver. And that makes it a little bit easier for me. So it's apparent to me that this device has already been taken apart and serviced once. Alright, so now using a needle, we'll get under this final seal And if everything goes properly, we should be able to get this off without damaging the seal. And there we go. One undamaged seal. And that can go right back on that screw at a later time. And now the board should just lift right out. And here's a close-up for you guys. Let's go ahead and remove this copper. So it would appear that these EM shields are actually soldered to the board. So, looks like we're not going to do much with those. However, this diagnostic port looks pretty darn interesting. Now, as you can see, there's two different antennas in the back of the Nexus 7 case. So now right in the dead center, that's where the NFC antenna is, and another one. I'm not sure if it's key wireless charging or if it's Wi-Fi signal. I'm not really sure what that is. Now, one more thing to note is that this shielding right here, this piece of copper, is rather thick, and it's positioned in a way so that when this device is assembled, it actually gives additional protection to this area that's already copper coated. Now, that's a good thing and all, but I kind of feel like, maybe they should have added some extra down near the bottom of the device as well.
The device has very few amount of screws on it. They're all standard Phillips, and they use Loctite as well. This board has impact areas along the points that you may expect to have impacts on the board. I find that to be a very good thing. It's a sign of a manufacturer that designed a device to withstand a test of time. Here we can see the DDR3 memory, and here we can see the Qualcomm power management chip, which, judging by the marking above it, appears to have gone through some sort of a quality control before it was released from the factory. And we can see here this is a 32 gigabyte model. We can't really see much about the processor or communications chips as they are underneath this soldered on EM shield. However, the most interesting part of this board would be this little area right here. Now, what this is some sort of an unpopulated connector. I would normally assume that this would be a UART port. However, I've realized that pretty much all of the devices that are branded with Nexus have stopped using UART, and if they do start off with UART, generally early in the boot sequence they switch over to another method of debugging. Now, there is something even more different than the Nexus method of debugging, which is the Qualcomm method. And if anyone has any information on this Qualcomm debugging method, I would be interested to hear it. I'm trying to learn more about it.
So I woke up one morning to my tablet having a crack straight down the center of it. So I did the logical thing and ordered a new screen from eBay. Now the screen came and it was about $100, which is about half the price of the tablet. So it's a little bit high, but replacement of it isn't that hard. You start by removing all of the components from within the device. We already covered that earlier. Then you take a hairdryer and you start heating up the screen. From there you get under the screen and then start separating the glue from around the edges to lift the screen off the device. Now there will be broken glass involved, so just make sure that you take special precautions. As you can see here, I wasn't quite able to get all of it up very cleanly, but I got a good majority of it up without breaking much glass. So once you get the old screen off, you just take some alcohol and scrub all of the glue and maybe stuck on glass off the device and apply the new screen. Alright, so I had originally planned to show you guys how to go on through and install TWRP recovery to the device. However, I had a recording error, so we're going to end up going through what I just did instead of how to do it. So now, I put my device into bootloader mode, which is this mode right here, and that can be done via ADB Reboot Bootloader, or it can be done also using the volume down plus power button combination. And depending on your use, you may want to use that. It doesn't really matter. So now you need a copy of Fastboot, and you need a copy of TWRP TeamWin's Recovery Project, and you can get that from their website, which is right here. You go and you download a copy of the latest image file, and then bring it over to your computer. So now I have it right here in this folder, and I'm in that folder in the terminal here. So Next thing you do is you do a fastboot OEM unlock, and that wipes all the data from the device. This device is perfectly clean now. The reason why that's important is if somebody wants to install a custom kernel for the purposes of hacking your device, if the device is wiped out completely, then there's no data for them to obtain. And that's the idea behind the fastboot OEM unlock, erase everything. So, next thing you want to do is you would go ahead and fastboot flash recovery, and then you select your file. And it's just that simple. So, once you've finished that up, you can go ahead and just reboot your device into recovery mode. And that's how we do an XDA unboxing. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'd like to thank Carlo for sending this device in. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and add me to your circles on Google+. Go to plus.adamoutler.com. Until next time, hack on.